How's that new commission structure working out for you? Hopefully you're out there making some good money and you're doing very well with the new way that we're negotiating commissions. Now, a lot of people would say there's not a whole lot changed, but in reality, a lot has changed and you should be building value around what it is that you're doing. Our topic today is the shocking truth behind commission structures and the way it works today. So welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. And commission structure has changed. There's a lot of agents getting out of the business. There are hundreds of thousands of agents that are deciding not to renew their license. So I wanted to talk a little bit about commission structure and what's important for you, because I think it's really cleaning out the commodity agent. I think one of the big benefits for us here is we're able to get rid of the totally replaceable real estate agent, the agent that thinks everybody's the same, that thinks someone else charges 2%, so they should charge 2%. They don't see a difference in agents. And when you ask them why they're better, they start saying silly things like, I care about your business, I'm a good negotiator, communication's important to me. All of the things that everyone would say, that literally means you're a commodity replaceable by anybody else that's out there. Now, the fact is that the lawsuit that happened, the new rulings on how things needed to be negotiated, a lot of the jokes that created, it's actually made the business worse rather than better, if you ask me. But you know who actually thought that there was a standard commission? You know who thought there was a fixed commission? It wasn't the realtors. It was the clients. It was the buyers and sellers. Oh, I thought everybody charged this, or I would never pay more than this. I've always paid 5%. I would never pay more than 5%. I thought it was negotiable. What you have an assumption as to what is normal and customary. The general public had more of an assumption than we did. So I think that was a big issue to begin with, that, we were conspiring to set certain fees. Hell, we're trying to get whatever we can get in most cases, because it always has been negotiable. So with the new structure that we have here, you can earn more and you can deserve more. I think that's one of the important points here, is commissions are negotiable. Keep in mind, negotiate means you can go up or down. It doesn't mean now you can negotiate commissions down. I think the haters on the internet thought that's the case. Oh, now we have permission to negotiate. Well, we do too. We're allowed to negotiate too. That's always been the case. But yes, I'm glad you brought it up to the forefront. Let me show you a value stack as to why I'm better than everybody else out there. I really think in the long haul, we can do a lot more to make the business better. So I wanted to talk a little bit about why that is and how you make that happen. But I think it's so important to note that, if, let's say, their brother is willing to list a home at 2%, if we're talking one side of the equation. My brother's a licensed agent. He'll list the home at 2%. Okay, well, let me show you why I'm a better option and I charge more. Do you have a good value stack for that? Do you have a good value stack for, I'm sorry, that's what he charges, but here's what I charge and why it's better? You're not allowed to say, I'm a good negotiator, I know the area like the back of my hand, I'm a native here, I grew up here, I'm with a top producing brokerage. All the crap that if they interviewed 10 agents, every one of those 10 is going to say that. What really makes you stand out? What does your value stack really look like? Negotiating means up and down. There's no question about it. You are negotiating both ways. But when we have agents that are getting, all combined, they're getting 7% and 8% and sometimes even more. You always have the agents that are struggling saying, oh, that's just greedy. That's unfair. That's not, you should offer everything you do for every single client because that's how you best represent. Okay, let me show you what we do. You know what those agents say? Oh, I would never do that. Nobody could afford to do that. You can't spend $3,700 with a mailing list broker, and then you got to send the mail with a target marketing approach to go to the most opportune buyer. No agent really does. That's why we get more. That's why we earn more. See, I thought you said we were being greedy. I thought you said we weren't worth that. What's going to happen is those bottom feeders, those scraping the bottom of the barrel and barely getting by, I can guarantee you they're not going to make it in this industry. The goal of the lawsuit wasn't to represent the sellers or to bring commissions down. That wasn't the goal. The goal of the lawsuit was not to represent the sellers. The goal of the lawsuit was not to bring commissions down. The goal of the lawsuit was not to make housing more affordable. The goal of the lawsuit was not to allow sellers to reduce their asking price now that they don't have to pay so much. That wasn't the goal of the lawsuit to begin with. It wasn't to make housing more affordable. What do you think the goal of the lawsuit was? Who do you think was going to win with the lawsuit? Do you think the agents were going to win? The buyers? The sellers? The economy? The attorneys? It's more confusing. It's harder for the entire industry as a whole. You've got so many, even our own profession, we don't know. Some agents know how to do it this way, others don't. They're negotiating back and forth and have no idea, well, my seller's only willing to pay this. Nobody knows how to do it the right way. They've caused mass confusion. It doesn't help the seller. It doesn't help the buyer. But I think if you position yourself the right way, you will do very well. There's no question about that. So I think that, over time, the fact is commissions have changed forever. There's no question commissions have changed forever. And I believe it's going to kill half of the agents. But the agents that live are going to do better. They will make more money. They will get a higher commission structure because now you are showing an itemized list, like, building value around what we do, building a value stack, showing them several options available. One of the best things I've ever done for the industry is create that menu of services. And many of you, if you've been following me for a while, I've been teaching this for over 20 years. You can download it for free. Go to menuofservices.com. Just pull up another browser, go to menuofservices.com. This gives them a good, better, best. Commissions are negotiable. Put in whatever you want, but let's say it was 5, 6, 7, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 3, 3.5, 4. I don't care what it is, but it's good, better, best. Why do we do that? Because sometimes their hairdresser will list their home at 2%. Oh, if that's what you want, I can do that. But would you consider this and adding this? Yes, I will do that. That's our silver option. You can do that. Or maybe you should consider this, where I will add this, and this. Oh my gosh, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, you will pay a premium for a premium service, even in the face of having the ability to go cheap. You would rather go good. And I think that's one of the big things that the menu of services has always worked well. And I've got videos of me teaching this 20 years ago. This was way back when we had, you guys remember flip cameras? It wasn't a phone, it was just a flip camera, and you click the button, a little USB thing popped out, and you could plug it into your computer. That's how long ago we were recording, how we were building a value stack around that. And it's why the sellers back then, when it was all combined, they could do 5, 6, or 7, and they're like, oh, I didn't realize my brother's only going to do all that stuff. I didn't realize my hairdresser is only going to do all this stuff. I want this option with this and this and this and this and this. And they choose to pay a premium. It's not like we screwed them. They had the option of going cheap. They didn't want cheap. There are some people that want to buy a Mercedes or a BMW or a Cadillac or a Rolls Royce, even though Kia has cars that are buy one, get one free. They're like 20 grand and you can get 2 of them. If you buy one, you get the other one half. They don't care about that. Cost is only a factor in the absence of value. And keep in mind, yacht brokers, we've heard forever, yacht brokers are going to be out of the business and the internet's going to take over and AI is going to replace everything and all that. They're getting 10% commissions on deals that are bigger than our houses. Yachts cost more than $500,000. And they're getting 10% commissions and continuously go up and have premiums upwards of 15 to 17% in many cases. Sometimes more, I'm sure, but I'm not that familiar with it. But how is that? You hate to say standard, but damn, you can't get it cheaper than that. I wouldn't say it's standard, I would say it's minimum. And it goes up from there when we say that it's negotiable. But you've heard of them being replaced. The internet's going to replace them. The various websites are going to replace them. The apps are going to replace them. The peer-to-peer, the AI, the Boat Trader magazine, all of these things, that's all going to replace them. No, it doesn't. It assists you in doing a better job. There's a lot of tools you have available now that you didn't have before. I actually wrote a couple down because this business evolves. You don't have to worry about AI taking over real estate and some certain company trying to turn you into a zilter, all of those things. You don't have to worry about that. I want you to think back. If you've been licensed for a long time like I have, I sold real estate in the late 1900s and beyond. That's how old I am. By the way, the late 1900s. Isn't that fun? That was a quarter of a century ago. That's how long ago it was. But I want you to think about how even listing a home has evolved. How we sign with a client and give them copies. Look how much that has changed. It used to be, sign all this here. Okay, I'll go back to the office and I'm going to mail you copies so you have copies of everything you signed. Well, then it was, hey, we got this little fax machine. If you have a fax machine at your house, when I get back to the office, I can fax you copies. Then it was, hey, I have these 2-part carbonless. Press hard, 2 copies. I get the white, you get the yellow copy. And then it was, hey, you can sign digitally. You can just use this fake pen. It's called a stylus. You can just use this stylus right here, and you can sign digitally. And then it was accept these terms here that says when you type your name, that's legally binding. And that digital signature, the DocuSign, the things that we have now where they can track the IP address when it was done, they've accepted the terms and conditions. Look how much this has changed. We didn't get replaced by DocuSign. We didn't get replaced by Realtor.com. We didn't get replaced by Zillow. That's not how this world works.